The movie begins with a note, citing that 16 years after the death of Marcus Aurelius, his dream of a utopian Rome has been forgotten, and under the tyranny of twin emperors Geta and Caracalla, corruption, oppression and injustice have flourished in the entire Rome. Consequently, the fall of the great city is just around the corner. Afterward, we see several Roman warships in the ocean, prepared to fight a battle. Later, the scene shifts to 200 AD in Numidia, an ancient city of Africa. Emperor Jugurtha emboldens his army for the imminent battle against the mighty Romans. The African army is led by a Roman general named Lucius. Roman warships sail towards the Numidian Empire to destroy it. On one of the warships, Lucius recounts to his army that the Romans leave destruction wherever they step foot, and later they call it peace. Our city is the last free city in Africa, which they want to conquer, but we will never let it happen as long as we are alive. The Numidians are also all set to subdue the incoming Roman army. Soon after, both the armies engage in a fierce battle, flinging ablaze cannonballs upon each other. The Roman army is being commanded by General Acacius. Countless innocent people begin losing their lives in this ongoing battle. Roman ships with men begin to burn to ashes. However, the Roman army doesn't give in and keeps on marching towards the outskirts of the relentless Numidian kingdom, while the Numidian army tries to keep them at bay, using ammunition. Soon, General Acacius also steps into the battle to subjugate the Numidians. In this Armageddon, Arasat, wife of Lucius, gives up the ghost when she is shot by a speeding arrow. She unconsciously falls into the ocean and Lucius is also thrown off the fort. He wakes up in the afterworld and finds that the Grim Reapers are taking his wife's soul away. Seeing this heart-wrenching scene, Lucius bursts out crying. The next moment, he finds himself in the water and sees that his Numidian army has been conquered. He wades through the water to reach Arasat and mourns over her death. Afterward, General Acacius commands his soldiers to burn the fallen soldiers of the Numidian army, but Acacius doesn't seem to be happy after seeing this massacre, and seems to possess a good heart. Now, the entire Numidian kingdom has been prevailed over by the mighty Roman army, while the rest of the defeated soldiers including Lucius and Jugurtha have been held as prisoners of war. Lucius falls apart after losing his kingdom to the tyrant Romans. Afterwards, all the prisoners of war are taken back to Ostia, the port city of Rome. People of Rome gather in the city, in honor of General Acacius, as he successfully conquered another kingdom. The twin emperors, Geta and Caracalla, roll out the red carpet in his honor and give him a pompous welcome. Emperor Caracalla bestows a crown upon him for his another conquest. Afterward, Acacius asks the twin emperors to provide him with some respite from war in order to spend some time with his wife. Both the emperors turn down his request, saying we have to win more battles. There still remains Persia and India to be conquered. To this, Acacius suggests to them that they should turn their attention to the subject of Rome rather than focus on other territories to take over. Next, the scene shifts to Antium, the outskirts of Rome. Lucius and other prisoners of war are brought to the cells of an arena and later, they are set free. Antium is ruled over by a local chieftain named Macrinus. He organizes lethal games in the arena to entertain the people of Rome. In one of the cages, a dangerous troop of baboon monkeys is dying to get out to wreak havoc, and shortly after, they are released from the cage. The deadly monkeys rush to the arena. The defeated Numidian emperor Jugurtha gives in and kneels down, catching the attention of one of the lurking bloodthirsty monkeys, that kills him before Lucius gets to him. After that frantic monkey lunges upon Lucius, but Lucius bites his hand, causing it to scream in pain. Macrinus curiously sees this strife by sitting up. Lucius howls at the furious monkey and shortly after, he tries to choke the monkey on the chain, while other monkeys snarl and hover around Lucius. Ultimately, he kills the leader of the monkeys, prompting the crowd to applaud him. Lucius and other prisoners of war are carried to the mansion of Macrinus. Vigo, Macrinus's loyal general, explains to Lucius and other captured prisoners that arena is a sacred place for the warriors like them. The road to glory runs through the arena. It turns slaves into gladiators. Later, Lucius eats food in the eatery, where other prisoners of war make a mockery out of him by hooting like a baboon monkey, as Lucius bit the monkey in the arena while fighting. Nonetheless, he laughs it off. Next day, all the captured prisoners are produced before Macrinus, who picks out Lucius among other prisoners and orders Vigo to have a duel with Lucius to put his strength to the test. Shortly after, Vigo knocks off Lucius, causing him to get to his knees, but Lucius gets back to his feet and fights back. After standing out against Lucius for a couple of minutes, Vigo is defeated by Lucius. Macrinus is blown away by this valiant feat of Lucius. He orders Vigo to hose down Lucius and then bring him to him. Moments later, Lucius is presented before him. Macrinus explains to him that choosing gladiators is an art, which he possesses. He says that he can sense fury boiling inside him. Hence, whose head should he give him to soothe his fury? To this, Lucius responds that he wants the heads of the entire Roman army, and if possible, specifically General Acacius's head. On this, Macrinus begins to giggle and says, "Use your anger in my service and you will have his head." In the next scene, General Acacius comes to his beloved wife Lucilla. He reveals to her that the twin emperors are a thorn in his side. He says that he has witnessed widows and little children crying in Numidia mourning their dead. "I can't do it anymore. If I fight another campaign, it must be to depose them. I have prepared a secret army and it is about to land in Ostia in 10 days. Lucilla says that the Roman people are weary of the madness and the tyranny of the emperors. Next day, at the emperor's palace, there happens to be a combat-to-death contest between two gladiators, Lucius and Vicek, to entertain the tyrant twin emperors. Lucius and Vicek fall on each other to stay alive. In the initial stage, Vicek succeeds in beating Lucius to some extent, but later, Lucius turns the tables on him and stabs him in the belly, killing Vicek. Emperor Caracalla is pretty much impressed with the combat skills of the victorious gladiator Lucius and says, "We are pleased with you." He asks him where he came from. Lucius doesn't respond and begins to cite an enigmatic poem written by Virgil. The poetry goes beyond Emperor Caracalla's head. Afterward, he tells Macrinus that he wants to see Lucius fighting in the arena. In a secret hall, General Acacius and his wife Lucilla hold a secret meeting with their loyal ones. Acacius reveals that he is going to take over Rome and restore it where it should be. Acacius says that his army, consisting of more than 5,000 loyal soldiers, is waiting for his command in Ostia. It will invade Rome on the final day of the games, and then the Colosseum, where they will arrest the lunatic emperors for the crimes they committed against the Senate and the common people of Rome. Senator Thrax and other senators reassure them that they are with them. Next, all the gladiators including Lucius are taken towards the arena, where they will face another threat. Emperor Caracalla and Emperor Geta arrive at the arena to see another bloodthirsty game. General Acacius and his wife Lucilla are also here on this occasion. Moments after, Lucius and other gladiators enter the arena of the Roman Colosseum. To face them, Glycio, an undefeated warrior of Rome, comes into the battlefield, riding on a rhino. Lucius asks his fellows to hold together until Glycio charges at them, and then break for the wall. Soon after, Glycio, riding on the rhino, charges at Lucius and his men and kills one of the gladiators with the aid of his rhino. Lucius picks up dust in both of his hands, while Lucilla observes this very closely, as if Lucius were reminding her of someone of her own. Other gladiators back off, when Lucius entices Glycio towards himself. Glycio moves to Lucius, riding on his rhino, but Lucius creates a dusty environment for him, causing his rhino to bump into the wall and Glycio falls off the rhino. The Roman crowd claps for Lucius for this maneuver. Afterward, Glycio gets back to his feet and frantically falls upon Lucius. He kicks him down and begins to pose himself as a true warrior. Up there, Emperor Caracalla asks his brother if the gladiator fighting down there is the same poet who recited an incomprehensible poem to them. Emperor Caracalla tries to recite the same poem but can't. Just then, Lucilla gets up from her seat and begins to complete the poem. Down in the arena, Glycio leaves no stone unturned to kill Lucius. He flattens him on the ground, severely wounded. The emperor asks Lucilla what to do next with Lucius. To which, Lucilla pleads with the emperor to show mercy to Lucius. Therefore, Glycio is stopped from killing Lucius. On this, Lucius says that he would die, rather than accept his mercy, and saying this, he picks up his dagger and plunges it into Glycio's stomach, causing him to bleed severely, and later, he beheads him.
The whole Roman crowd gets thrilled and gleefully starts chanting his name. Elsewhere in her hall, Lucilla also reads out the same poem which Lucius still remembers. Afterward, she begins to recall the time when her first husband, Maximus, was dying in the arena after losing a battle. While dying, Maximus asked Lucilla to keep Lucius safe. Meaning, Lucius is no other than her own son. She took away Lucius from the arena and told him that he was the sole heir to the throne now. That's why everyone is coming to kill you. Therefore, you have to go from here, but I promise, I will bring you back here, as soon as there remains no life threat for you. After that, she sent him away under the security of her loyal ones. In the cell, a doctor named Ravi treats Lucius's wound. He reveals to Lucius that he himself once used to be Gladiator, but now, I have put down my sword. In the midst of the night, Lucilla comes to Lucius in his cell. She asks him if he knows her, but Lucius shakes his head. Actually, Lucius also knows that Lucilla is his mother, but he refuses to identify her as his mother on purpose. He says that he has no mother as far as he remembers. Lucilla breaks into tears and asks him to forgive her. On this, Lucius says that the child you sent away died a long time ago. So, go away from here. Before her departure, Lucilla says to him, "You need your father's strength at this time, as you need it, and his name was Maximus Decimus Meridius and he loved you very much." Afterward, she comes to Acacius and reveals that Lucius is still alive. Acacius says that the third day of the games is tomorrow and it is impossible for Lucius to survive in the arena. Lucilla pleads with Acacius to save Lucius's life at all cost. Next day, Lucius encourages other gladiators and says that it is our survival. Shortly after, Lucius boards a ship with other gladiators and gets into the arena to fight a naval war. Both the belligerent armies begin to destroy each other's ships, while the wounded gladiators fall into the water and get eaten by the deadly sharks, swimming in the water, but shortly after, Lucius's ship crashes into the hostile ship, destroying it. Afterward, they board other ships and begin to throw hostile gladiators into the water, whom the starving sharks devour in no time. Meanwhile, Lucius picks a crossbow and aims at General Acacius, but due to the chaotic situations, the arrow misses its target, causing the emperors, General Acacius and Lucilla to leave in fear. In the middle of the arena, Lucius's ship emerges victorious. Next, Senator Thrax informs Macrinus about the plotting against the emperors to dethrone them, but this conspiracy has been put on ice, because a gladiator is to be rescued from the arena tonight. General Acacius with a squad of soldiers heads towards the cell to rescue Lucius, but the entire squad is put to death by the lurking archers, leaving the general. Both Acacius and Lucilla are brought before the emperors, Geta and Caracalla, for their insurrection, which was exposed by Macrinus and Thrax. Emperor Geta heads forward to slice Acacius's head but is stopped by Caracalla, who orders General Acacius and his wife to be killed publicly. Next, Ravi leads Lucius to the cell, where a rebel gladiator is buried when he dies. Here, Lucius finds his father Maximus's combat attire. Next day, Acacius sent into the arena as a punishment for insurrection. And shortly after, he engages in a battle with several soldiers, whom he mows down effortlessly. Next, Lucius is sent to kill the traitor general. Lucius lunges upon Acacius and tries to kill him as soon as possible to avenge his Numidian army, and that's all that he wants, but Acacius tries to calm him down and that's why he doesn't fight back. Acacius tells him that he knows that he is Lucius Verus Aurelius, son of Maximus and Lucilla, and saying this, he drops down his swords and kneels down, surrendering himself to be killed. He asks Lucius to do his duty. Emperor Caracalla orders Lucius to kill Acacius. However, Lucius doesn't follow his order and spares Acacius's life, but just then, one of the arrows comes flying and goes through Acacius's chest, and shortly after, several arrows pierce into his body, killing him in the arena, while Lucilla is held captured up there. Outside the emperor's palace, the people of Rome have rebelled against both the tyrant emperors after the killing of Acacius, who was deemed to be a true gladiator by the people of Rome. Inside the palace, Macrinus poisons Emperor Geta's ear against Emperor Caracalla. Outside the palace, Rome is burning away. Moments later, Emperor Geta approaches his brother by holding a dagger in his hand. Emperor Caracalla asks him to give him the dagger, but Geta goes at him. Caracalla tries to mollify him, but Macrinus arrives there and makes Emperor Geta kill his own brother Caracalla.
Later, Macrinus goes among the senates with the decapitated head of Emperor Caracalla.
He tells everyone that he needs power to put the unsettled things to right.
Because of fear, each senate stands by him and chooses him their uncrowned emperor.
Elsewhere in the cell, Lucius asks Ravi for his help.
He asks Ravi to ride to Ostia taking Acacius's ring to General Darius Sextus, and tell that Rome is in need of him.
Moments later, Ravi reaches General Darius Sextus, and hands him Acacius's ring. Darius asks Ravi, who gave him that ring?
To which he responds Lucius Verus Aurelius, the uncrowned prince of Rome. In the prison cells, Vigo comes to Lucius and tells him that today will be his last fight. Immediately, Lucius breaks free and kills Vigo. Soon after, all the captured gladiators also break free and start killing the Roman soldiers. Lucius goes straight to the cell, where his father's combat attire is.
He takes it and puts it on.
Afterward, he heads towards the arena to defend his mother Lucilla, who is tied up to a chariot. Soon, he is surrounded by many Roman soldiers, but his fellow gladiators rush to the arena to help him. In the twinkling of an eye, the entire arena turns into a battlefield. Lucius and other gladiators begin to slaughter the Roman soldiers.
Meanwhile, seizing the opportunity, Macrinus kills Emperor Geta as well. Lucius ascends the chariot to free his mother, but in the meantime, Macrinus shoots an arrow towards Lucilla, which penetrates into her chest, killing her.
After killing Lucilla, Macrinus gets away from there by riding on a horse. At the same time, Darius Sextus, with his mighty army, reaches outside the Roman Colosseum to help Lucius.
Macrinus finds his way blocked by the incoming army of Darius Sextus.
Meanwhile, Lucius arrives there and reveals to Macrinus that his name is Lucius Verus Aurelius. Soon after, they both engage in a battle, but Macrinus is no match for Lucius, who cuts off one of his hands with his father's sword. In the end, he slices his belly, killing him in the water. Afterward, all the soldiers hail him, and with this scene, this movie comes to an end.